Hello everybody, this is Scott Bradley from LeanStrongBody.com, and today I'm going to be interviewing a very special, awesome athlete that I'm really good friends with. His name's Stig Severinsen, and he is a world record free diver. And today he's going to be coming on to share some of his breathing tips and breathing exercises that are going to basically help you as an athlete, as someone who wants to lose weight, as someone who wants to live an optimal, healthy life. And he's going to be sharing more about kind of the backstory of what these exercises are, how they benefit you, and even more so, he's going to share some really exciting news about a new world record that he just accomplished.
Yeah.
So let's actually just start with that, if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
I want to know, you've done previous records in the past, but obviously this new one is just like the grand master daddy of them all. So share a little bit about that.
Okay, so recently I did the new Guinness World Record of longest breath holds on Earth. And I accomplished the dive underwater of 22 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So that's now the new official Guinness World Record. I held that record a few years ago. In 2010, I was the first person to break the 20-minute mark. And maybe I should stress as well that this is an exercise or a discipline in the Guinness World Records where you kind of breathe with oxygen to load your cells, your blood cells, and your lungs.
Gotcha.
And then you go. The first record I did in a shark tank. The other one I did on the program for Discovery Channel called the Superhuman Showdown.
Wow.
So they kind of asked me, can you do the, most, extreme challenge? Put yourself out there on the line and give us your best.
Gotcha.
So I trained, in my relaxation, my yoga and breathing exercises, and it's now official. So I'm very happy about that.
Awesome, that's really exciting.
But it's not really the record that's most important. It's more interesting, to know these techniques, to know that we breathe unconsciously every day. We breathe about 25, 30,000 times each day.
Right.
And the thing is that many people don't really know, or they have not been taught how to breathe. It's not even, their own fault. It's just it happens that they're stressed or, work, a lot of things in their daily life, and they don't realize that they have this enormous potential and this tool they can just grab hold of, and that's the breathing. And once you realize that, and you realize that, every breath you take is not going to come back, it's wasted, it's a little part of your life that's gone by.
Right.
But once you realize the power of breathing to get you back to the here and now, because you can only breathe now.
Right.
You cannot breathe for tomorrow or for yesterday. You can think and be stressed or, things that are going to come in the future or the past.
Right.
But that's why the mind is so difficult to control.
Right.
So breathing is a very simple tool to use to stay focused, focus on your goals, focus on your health, and most importantly, I think, focus on how you're feeling.
Gotcha.
How are you actually doing? Not what people think or what you tell people, but how is your body actually behaving? How is your immune system doing? How is your mind working? How are your spirits? Like, is your heart warm? Are you happy? Are you tense? And when you look at the breathing of people, you know exactly how they feel. If they're relaxed and happy, they smile and breathe in a slow manner. If they're angry, they will be up, high in the chest, hyperventilating. It was not my fault. I didn't do it.
Okay.
And so the breathing tells us how we are feeling.
Gotcha. So you talk about these breathing exercises. I want to kind of, flush that out a little bit more and kind of how that relates to someone maybe watching right now as to, okay, you got these breathing exercises that you most likely do on a consistent daily basis, correct?
Yeah.
But tell us more about what is it about the exercises that helps people heal themselves?
Okay.
Or help people, lose weight or live optimally.
There's a lot of things that even if you read like training books or medical books. I have a background in biology.
Yeah, you said you had a PhD. You told me you had a PhD,
I have a PhD in medicine, but I also have a master degree in biology.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very interested in the interaction between, the biology and the medical fields.
Gotcha.
In health and how is the body working and the mind, obviously. And then, of course, I'm interested in performance.
Absolutely.
From my sportive background. So I think the beauty to start with is that it's easy to do. You don't have to go to a breathing course. You don't have to read books. You just start to focus and be conscious about the potential of your breathing. And once you start to understand the finer layers, then you will, a whole new world will open from the moment that you kind of realize that you have this tool, 24/7, 365.
And you basically shared all of that passion for these breathing exercises in your book. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, I've been blessed to have a best-selling book now in the world.
And what's the title? What's it
called Breathology, The Art of Conscious Breathing.
There you go.
As I said, it's important to be conscious and aware of how you breathe. So it is kind of an art. And But it's not difficult, and that's the beauty of it, that everybody can do this. You don't have to be a world champion, you don't have to be a top athlete. I train athletes in the Olympics, I train people in, CEOs in big companies. So I'm very, happy to work with these people, but you don't have to be an athlete to do all these exercises. I also work in yoga schools and with mothers, that go and have 3 kids at home and just are busy in the house, taking care of the family. And the breathing exercises are basically starting to know how you breathe correctly. So getting the deep, slow breathing. Always breathe deep into your belly, so to speak. Of course, the air doesn't go to your belly, but the belly pushes out because the lungs are going to be filled in the lower part where you really take the oxygen into your bloodstream.
The diaphragm is, right?
The diaphragm is the breathing muscle that separates, the lungs and the lower part of your body. So once you get down here and not up here, where you're typically breathing when you're stressed or angry or upset, which leads to tension, obviously, and headaches, and not a good health.
Lots of negative health impacts.
A lot of negative consequences. So once you realize, you can breathe like this, or you do that when you're just feeling good, and also you start to think about, I have to breathe with my nose.
Right.
You breathe with the nose, you eat with the mouth. The nose is a huge machine. You have the hairs taking all the particles, then you have the mucous membranes, like to adjust the temperature, the humidity, to make the air just right, before it comes into the lungs.
Love it.
So you don't have this shock absorption in the lungs. So it's just a, perfect temperature when it hits the lungs.
Gotcha.
Then also there's a new, as I said, I'm a scientist, so I've done a lot of studies and people have been studying me around the world. My brain has been scanned, holding my breath in different scanners, PET scan, MR scan, magnetic resonance, like kind of fancy stuff.
All the high level stuff.
Looking at my lungs, X-ray, looking at my spleen, ultrasound, looking at my heart, the whole 9 yards.
And what do they find?
Well, they find that we have an incredible adaptation, and that when we start to breathe, there was a study a few years ago, the first study, it was a Danish study, showing a scientific study in an approved big journal, that actually people that meditate and do breathing exercises for a long time have a stronger network in the brainstem that's associated with the breathing and the way we sleep, and also the way our heart is working.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a strong connection between the breathing and how our well-being is.
And it's interesting you bring up that point, because just in that one study it showed that doing these types of meditation, yoga, breathing exercises
leads to a different structure in your brain, or at least those people who do it or do it for a long time have a different structure. Let's keep it with that.
Absolutely. And kind of taking that to the next level, I mean, what other things have, either whether people you've worked with or...
Well, I think the most interesting thing, and that's for all of you out there to know, is that when you read a medical book, don't believe everything that's in the books,
Fair enough.
Be curious, investigate, be adventurous. So what we've found in freediving is that you can actually expand your lung capacity. You can, increase your vital capacity. And just think about the name, vital capacity, the life capacity, right? Which makes sense. The more air you take in, the more oxygen goes into your system, the more energy you create, the better you feel. The more energy you have to do your work, your goals, your dreams, your sports, your performance, you can recover faster from accidents, from illness, and you don't get sick as easily because your immune system is up high all the time.
So then there's really a lot of benefits tied.
There's a lot of benefits, and you do these different exercises and you start to increase the flexibility of your chest. The heart has an easier time beating.
There you go.
Your shoulders come down, your neck is not as tense, your face stops all the tension, you learn how to relax your lower jaw. People can just try that, just relax the jaw, just the consciousness of doing that act of just
letting it go.
Dropping the jaw, there's a huge muscle here that keeps us stressed, and angry.
Probably leads to a lot of headaches too, right?
It leads to headaches and stuff, but also it leads to the tension around the nerve that goes from the breathing center up here in the brainstem, and it's called the vagus nerve. It's a 10th cranial nerve that run, of course, they're paired, in humans they run in both sides of the neck, and they run all the way down from the breathing center to the heart and the lungs.
Gotcha.
And to all the intestines.
Gotcha.
All our organs.
It's
all connected. And when you do the breathing in a slow and controlled manner, you hit that switch.
So
you go into that relaxed state.
Absolutely. So you've done, you have this book, you have these breathing exercises. You know, you probably get a lot of emails from people all over the world.
Too many. So that's why I get a lot, and it's interesting to speak with people and scientists and top athletes. But at some point, you just cannot answer all emails. You know, I feel guilty when I don't answer all emails because I would like to help people. But that's why I've created now the Breathology Academy.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, the Breathology Academy is like my new baby. It's you know, step further than the Breathology book that people have been very, you know, positive and been very happy about. It's out in 7 languages now.
What languages?
Chinese, Russian, Spanish, Italian, Danish, English of course, and Portuguese and Arabic is in the works.
Gotcha.
So it's very exciting times. I'm going around the world constantly, but now I built the Breathology Academy. That's an online concept that has all the instructions in video. So you get the workbook, you get the training manuals, you get your personalized training program, you get the notes.
Love it.
But you also get all the videos where I'll do the instructions. Because people often ask me also when I teach yoga instructors, but are we doing this right? Are we doing this right? Because I also focus on breathing in a different way. I look at the 360-degree you know, perspective, helicopter view. I work with the breathing, that's why you see the lung here, but I also work with the breath holding.
Right.
You know, that's why there's a knot there.
Gotcha.
So
the yin and the yang.
The yin and the yang, the sun, the moon. So I think that's the thing that has been missing in training people or just helping people, because there is so much interesting stuff in the breath holding.
Gotcha.
And that's what science is digging into now. When you hold your breath, you become more flexible in the diaphragm, obviously, because it starts jumping up and down because you want to breathe. When you get that control of the strongest reflex in the world, you know, trying to breathe, survive.
Yes.
When you control that, you can control anything in your life.
Love it.
So that's the story from yoga, the philosophy that I also, you know, preach because I'm very interested in yoga. I had my guru in India teaching me on my travels, and so I tried to connect the science and the ancient philosophy of yoga and mix it with the performance to get, you know, a message out that everyday people can use.
Now, before we close up this interview, I want to allow you to share kind of where can people find you? Is it on Facebook? Is it on Twitter? Where's your Breathology Academy? Kind of share some of those links for people.
Yeah,
and
I think everybody's welcome at breathologyacademy.com. And that's where I have a lot of free stuff as well. I've put all the introduction to breathology. There's like 60 pages of recipes for smoothies, for the body. You know, you have the acid, alkaline, balance in the body. That's kind of a hot, you know, potato as well. Interesting stuff. There's a lot about stress. What is stress? How is it developing in your body? What is the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system? You know, the stress system and the relaxed system, how is it all connected in nice illustrations. You get all that for free. And also we talk about, in the book, I talk about the weight loss. And also maybe if you have, you know, you're too thin. It's a weight balance, I would say, you know, regulation, because when you get acquainted with your body and your needs and your feelings through breathing and balance that system, your uptake is better, you want to eat better food because you know, automatically you feel better. So there's an angle there on weight loss that's interesting also from breathing. And also if you want like a 6-pack, you know, whatever, you can train the breathing exercises around the stomach and the diaphragm, and you get a 6-pack like in, you know, a few weeks.
Love it. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Stig, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
You know, best of luck to you again. Breathology.com, breathologyacademy.com, and you can most likely find Stig on Facebook and Twitter. Just search him. He's all over the internet. Again, that's Stig Severinsen, spelled S-T-I-G, Severinsen, S-E-V-E-R.
I-N-S-E-N.
Thank you.
Take a deep breath and enjoy.